Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'd like to speak to you a little bit about the bottled water industry. Isn't it incredible that you could just open a tap and up to 12 liters per minute could pour out of delicious water? Well, this is a dream for millions of people on the planet. In Spain, it turns out that we bought 116 liters per person of bottled water. Contrasted with Ethiopia, where children walk hours a day to get the water that their family needs. The World Health Organization estimates that close to or over 1 billion people do not have running water in their homes, which ultimately exacerbates levels of poverty and of sickness. The companies that run the water industry in the world are big multinationals. And although it may seem like an innocent business model to sell water, it actually has some pretty real consequences. It's existed for about 30 years now, and at the beginning, it was a relatively small business. Not too significant. However, today, 30 years later, it's in position number 3 of the third most traded commodities, such as, right after, petroleum and coffee. In this world, on this planet, we consume 148 billion liters of water annually. And of that, we end up purchasing 85 billion euros worth. Nestlé is one of the biggest companies, controlling about 16%, with international brands such as Perrier or the Italian San Pellegrino brand, which you could find in any restaurant, any part of the world, Italian restaurant. France has even bigger brands like Danone with Evian water. Literally in the 4 corners of the world it could be found. But the biggest consumer of all, of course, is the United States. The slowest growing market of bottled water is counterintuitively Europe, but that's because it's one of the first markets. However, paradoxically, Spain has doubled its consumption of bottled water over the last 10 years. Most water now and most efforts from these big multinational companies is focused on the emerging world. And it's no doubt, generally speaking, in countries like, say, China or India, where the water quality is lower, it makes sense that people buy more bottled water. However, they have a tendency of buying local brands as opposed to more international brands. So, big companies now are adding flavors to their water to increase the sales. There's even bottled water for pets. But in these austere times, big multinationals are taking care of their customers, and they're making sure that they don't veer too far because they want to stay in line with customer loyalty. And then there are other exercises such as eau de Paris. Now, it's not a perfume. It's actually a pet project of one person who decided to distribute glass bottles to residents of Paris so that they could fill up with water from Paris. And the argument was that this water was as good as any bottled water that you could purchase. Subsequently, the project has been a huge success, and sales of bottled water in Paris have gone down by 30%. Incredible. Thank you very much.